Hey guys, welcome back to more Let's Play Rogue Galaxy. Last time we made our way through a large chunk of the prison, but it's the most insanely overbuilt prison imaginable. So of course I got lost, and if I come back down from level 3 to level 2, as I was going through collecting some money, then I will find a treasure chest that I missed, and I do not have any AP left with you, so we're gonna have Simon finish those guys off. Nice rewards. Everybody drops something. I'll take it. And over here, we get a Flame Godstone. Now, if we're going to go in there, that's forward up to level 3. It's actually going to be faster to backtrack and to go down to level 2, so I'm going to do that, and I will meet you back at level 1. Okay, we're back at level 1, and I will include footage here about the items that I've purchased. Mainly, you go back to level 4, the first shop that we got access to. We want to buy 2 Ranger Pod 1s. Nothing to do with, or we want to go to level 3. We already bought the Earth and Sky Bow when we were there the first time, but we want to pick up 2 Triton hatchets while we're over there. Nothing to do with the level 2 shop, since we already looked there and it had nothing of value. And the level 1 shop, right here, we are going to get the electric nozzle, just one of them. And that's pretty much all we need to spend. We didn't need that full 10,000. I think I might have just barely hit it. Yeah, I just barely hit 10,000 because I didn't spend anywhere near that amount. But anyway, we need to put that startup chip in here in order to move on. And I need to make sure my timer is running because for some reason it is not. But yeah, doing that allows us to continue on. Of course, I always forget to save if I'm playing after recording an episode, and then go right into recording another one right away. I'm just like battling around. So anyway, why did you open and close? This part of the area gives us access to the Sea Gazer bow. There are other requirements to the weapon collection stuff that I've been talking about, but usually that also includes all the treasure chests that I note to pick up. If ever there's a case where, oh, I didn't get that item, like you're playing along and you didn't get that item, and you followed the shopping guide, then it's probably an item that one of the ones I randomly picked up over the course of the area in a treasure chest. Get that, get our free heal. What do we have here?
Is this the beast we fought on Rosa?
It's the salamander.
Shh! Someone's coming.
This really sucks. Why did we have to get stuck cleaning up over here anyway?
Not these idiots again.
I get the job done in half the time.
You can't trust those things. I'm much better at cleaning than they are.
I guess your 43 years of experience as a bachelor are good for something, huh?
Shut up! Think that's a compliment? I happen to be touchy about that subject.
I could do without these characters, honestly.
You know, Mr. Rosencaster's different somehow. He was never like this before.
Yeah, Mr. Rosencaster's too wound up in those experiments of his. It's a borderline obsession, if you ask me. I mean, they used to call him the best officer ever. Everyone used to look up to him. He was such a great guy. I don't know what's happened to him.
I suppose it has to do with Claudia.
Claudia? What do you mean?
Never mind. I guess it's not for us rank-and-file guards to know. Come on, let's get back to work.
What do you want to do?
Now's our chance. They're not looking our way.
Let's go.
Wait.
That was one of the most contrived excuses for a plot dump.
So this is what came out of that experiment? All that time, and this is what we ended up with? A big pile of garbage? Take me to Rosencastra immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
What a colossal waste of money. We need a reorg here.
Why are you making reductions in what words are? I'm finding it hard to figure out what I want to actually say with that, but yeah, I find it awkward when I see that, but maybe that's just because I'm old now and I see kids using abbreviations that I wouldn't use. It's like, just say the actual word. It's not that complicated. It really isn't. Apparently, either that or they collected the beast after the fact. It doesn't look like we can do anything there. But if you look down here, we get another cursed mask. I will take that. Now, let's take a look at my map here, since I was looking at the wrong part of the map earlier. Got that. Now, everyone who was in this room is now gone for some reason. I'm not sure why we had to hide if they would just be randomly deleted off screen, but it is what it is. So let's go on up here. Now that we're in the A pathways, like A3, there's A2, and then there's A1, it's technically a different part of the area. And with that being the case, the enemies that we can encounter here are going to be different. And there's a lot more variety of them here. So make sure that if you're going to do any farming, this is the area you're going to... Can you guys please kill something? It's like they're not doing anything. Bloody other characters and terrible AI. But yeah, make sure that you are picking the right ones. Lubricant is a very rare item at this point. I believe this will be the first one that we got. We're going to save here, approach the obvious mimic. The mimic doesn't do enough damage at this point, so you're best off holding R1 in order to block at the start of the fight. Like, he still does a lot of damage, you can still nuke your characters, but your block is somehow improved to the point where if you block, like you saw, I didn't take really that much damage. Illusion Sword is really your best way of dealing with this. Ow! And we're going to throw on some additional damage here. And get absolutely fucking slaughtered. All right, we got freeze to hit him, so we're in good shape now. Well, that didn't take all that long. Got myself another cursed mask. And with that being said, we can now continue on going through these areas. Now, I'm somewhat confused, or we could wait to talk about that mechanic until now. That's fine. Cutscene first.
Claudia, I'm sorry. I couldn't do anything for you. I would do anything if I could only bring you back. Why, Claudia? Why have you left me all alone? What's going on?
Rosencastra, sir! We have an urgent situation! The level 4 prisoners have escaped from their cells!
What did you say? Those little punks! Secure the partitions! Post officers at every gate! Don't let them get away!
Yes, sir!
Good-for-nothing idiots!
Did I come at a bad time, Mr. Rosencastra? It's all well and good to go after those escapees, but I wonder how that experiment's coming along.
It's coming along. We are close to perfecting the rune cell cultures. Once we do, you'll finally get what you want. We'll be able to mass-produce artificial human soldiers to your heart's content.
I see.
But that's not what you're after, is it? I know. You're fixated on one dead woman, and it's holding up the whole experiment.
I have to go after those escapees. We can talk later.
Don't give me the runaround. I can see right through you. I know what you're up to.
Nonsense! I'm following orders and doing exactly as I was told.
Still clinging to that old story, huh? You've got quite the one-track mind, Mr. Rosencaster. Obsessed with a woman like that. Rosencaster, listen up. This is your final warning. Perhaps it's time for him to resign.
Sounds like forced resignation to me. But yeah, as you can see, they've decided to give the character of Rosencaster a bunch of backstory. They dump it all into cutscenes and then expect us to feel for him. Sadly, it does not work as well as they probably intended, which is what happens when you don't build up characterization over time. Also, if you notice Jester's sword there on something a little more interesting, you notice the glow seems to fade up and down the, down the side of the blade. It's a cool little design feature. Not everybody's weapon has an interesting feature to it, but some of his do. As I was about to say before we got interrupted by 1,000 different things, I don't need to fight you guys. I've already maxed out both of you. I'm out of here. Later. Ow! Go away. Let me out. I'm out. I'm out. Let me run away. Everybody's stuck over there. That's fine. That's not what I want. I need to heal. Thank you. As I was about to say multiple times before I was interrupted, there seems to be, in most situations, in a lot of the walkthroughs I've been following to find specific enemies, there seems to be a distinction made between outer areas and inner areas, and areas in shadow and areas that are lit. I think the lit areas are right here based on these floor lights, and the outside areas are out here. Though they're all next to windows, so they're also lit, and they're all inside. So I'm not 100% sure what they're referring to, but you tend to run into different enemies in this type of environment as opposed to out there in the wider open areas. This is one of the few areas where you're going to run into enemies in a rather confined space like this. Now, we finally get to see some proto-beasts here, which is good because we need to fight them for the Dragon God Skulls. We also have another new enemy here, Nelveron. And we're starting to pick up enough levels here so that we're not always in, like, instant death mode. Apparently a long time. Wonder who that guy was. Let's turn these back on. We've seen a couple of cutscenes. Let's see if it changes some of our dialogue here.
Why are there beasts inside a prison?
Maybe not. Takes all of 5 seconds to start playing the same dialogue. Just imagine if we had been doing that the entire time. Savage dogs are another one that we definitely want to fight a lot of because they have a higher chance or a decent chance of dropping the Dragon God Skull. And those scorpions in my test run were really rare to encounter. It took me a long time to collect all of them.
Be careful. I sense something strange.
You say that no matter where we are. Divine Blessing. I believe that's a new item. Yes, it is. I have some extra items over here because I am currently using my other page here to put pairs of that over. Yeah, put that over there. I've got these set up in pairs for all my combinations for later. Normally I would leave them all on the same page, but this will be easier for demonstration purposes. Anyway, yeah, seemed to be hard for me to find those scorpions. We have another new enemy here, Livid Ape. Ow. They're pretty powerful as well. Won that challenge. Take that. Basically, a lot of Jaster's strength comes on the fact that Desert Seeker is pretty powerful at this point. It's the best weapon he can get, and I believe it eventually pairs with this. Actually, hold up. Does it pair with that? Let me look. Okay, it does not end up pairing with Metal Breaker, and when we eventually do combine Desert Seeker one final time, it will have a very high level requirement, and we're nowhere close to that level at this point. We're stuck with the weapons that we have, the Binding Frost or the Callisto Shooter. You can go with either one. This one has the shock effect, the other one has the freeze effect. This one also has more damage. It doesn't really matter at this point. Eventually, these two will be combined, but the required level for that is level 29. So we're a ways off from that. So there's basically nothing we can work on with Jaster right now. But there's lots of bows that we can work on with Lilica, a decent amount of hatchets, and we haven't done any combining yet. And, well, lots of weapons for you. And there's combining to be done for everybody as well. I've set them up, but I haven't really bothered to get into it yet because we're still got plenty to work on.
Let's get out of here.
So
Fast.
I don't think there was anything up here, but I just wanted to clear the map. Oh, no, I was wrong.
I'll take you on.
Here they come.
Just waste your whole gun all in one, because I'm too lazy to run over there. All right, we got another Pirate's Grog, which is nice. That should be it. Where's my map looking like? Yeah, we found the Mimic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the treasure for in here.
Wonder if they're worried about us.
Well, that battle was fun.
Keep our guard up.
I can just sit there and watch the other two characters try and fight one while I take on pretty much everything else that's there, and I outdo them by a lot. Now, you're going to find way more tarantulas than you are anything else. They're just all over the place, and they seem to spawn alongside with the enemies that we also need to collect. So I'll probably end up getting far more of them than I need to.
Let's get out of here. Fast.
However, we've gotten ourselves to the last of these random rooms. That one's empty. And we've got ourselves to
Let's get moving.
the end of this section of the area. Got a couple more of these left, so let's keep moving. We'll make ourselves a save state there and head on down. Or no, we're going up now. I guess we've probably been going up the entire time. So this is A2.
They're beasts inside a prison.
10 seconds.
Here they come.
Well, that was easy enough.
That's how you get it done.
I'll take the drops. Yeah, we've cleared out the larger section is levels 1 through 4. The A3, A2, and eventually A1 are drastically shorter.
Here they come.
Hey, you didn't give me any limits, so Desert Wind it is.
Don't cross our path.
More weapon swapping after that battle. It's always good to make progress. Alright, so we've got more crows to deal with.
Here they come.
We can nuke them like so.
Here goes.
And get a recharge drink for our efforts. I'll take that. As you can see, we're finally getting around to where we're supposed to be. So hopefully that means we're getting out of here. There's a couple of empty rooms around here. I don't know why there are empty rooms around here, but there are.
Fast.
We'll jump through there in a minute. We'll just clear out the rest of the map here.
Well, that was a doddle.
We're not on the wrong path, are we?
Some of Simon's little sayings are just kind of odd choices of words. This door is shut tight for now. Keep this in mind because eventually we will probably want to see if we can open
Why are
that.
there beasts inside a prison?
And I'm gonna leave it on. Now, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna turn it off. I was going to leave it on because we're not going to spend a lot of time before some of that dialogue will change. But a lot of that time is going to be spent kind of on my own. Finally getting some challenges. Was this on my own? I think. Abilities, illusion sword. Basically, I do everything. How seldom this changes from regular battles. My problem with a lot of those challenges is I wish there was a way to find out what they are after the initial line, because I'll look at it, think about what I'm going to do, look at it again, and go, oh yeah, it's gone, and forget what the actual requirement was. Maybe that's just my fault because my brain does not function, but anyway, this is obviously the final save point before that star. That means the plot is going to move forward. Did I get? Oh no, I can't get that item, that's why. I was like, there's an item listed on here, but I can't actually get it. It's behind that locked door. Anyway, let's take a look at the battle recorder here. You can see we've found a few of these enemies, and a lot of these older ones, primarily the ones that we found in the first half of this area, are pretty much just these three over and over and over again. And then with the odd Shadow Man and the odd dog. But yeah, the second half of this area has a lot more variety. We've got the Phantom Tail, the Scorpion, this weird looking dude. The Proto Beasts are regular encounters now. The Crows, as we've seen, Savage Dogs again, great for getting, same with the Proto Beasts, and same with the Petite Pooches for picking up a few of those Dragon God skulls we're gonna need. The Livid Ape, he's around here quite a bit. The Shadow Man seems to be on the rarer side for me. I might as well go over where we're gonna find these guys, because basically what I'm going to do in between episodes here is I'm just gonna battle around a little bit, try and work on some of my my characters, and do as much of the combining that that I can. I'll probably do some of that on screen before we go. The Petite Pooch, he's found anywhere in the he's on level 2 seldomly, and on A3 and A2. He's not particularly common in this area. I wouldn't go out of your way trying to clear him out here. The Livid Ape, we already know where to find the other ones. I've found all of them in the first area. Very easy to find them. The Livid Ape is, again, A3, A2, and A1, which is an area we haven't actually seen yet, but it's a very short area, so don't worry about it. Basically, just do it now. The waste area, which, let's take a look here at the map. I can't look at it from here. The waste area is that area around the salamander, the boss that we fought on Rosa. That is known as the waste area in most walkthroughs. So that is where you would want to go if you want to find the Shadow Man. They show up a little more often there. They also show up on level 2 seldomly and on level A1. Again, we haven't quite gotten there yet, so they're a little harder to find unless you want to jump back to that the waste area. The savage dogs are A3 and A2. The crows, waste area, A3 and A2. I remember them showing up a lot in the waste area. The proto beast, A3 and A2. The Nelveron, A3 and A2. And the phantom tail, same thing. This is where I relate to a second guide, because the first one just basically says the same thing over and over again. This one is a little more specialized. It gives you kind of little nuances about whereabouts to find certain enemies within generalized areas. So the phantom tail, along with the Nelveron and the proto beast, are all encountered in relatively the same area. And that's basically A2 and A3 pathways that are not lit. Now, as I was saying before, as far as lighting goes on this walkthrough, these are the lights I believe that they're referring to. I'm going the wrong way. Even when I'm not trying to go forward, I end up going the wrong way. So unlit paths are basically these paths here, in between this section here. This is where I did a lot of my farming in my test run. Once you get out there, that's a lit area. So you want to stay in the unlit areas according to that. Now, when you start to micromanage the areas that you're in for a lot of these enemies, it tends to not work for me. I end up getting dissuaded, I run out, and then I seem to find them more out here than I do in there. So I just found a bunch of crows. When you're farming enemies, don't bother to waste your time, just nuke them and move on. Now, you don't have to do all of the hunting record stuff that I'm doing. There is an achievement for getting all of these. Every single one of them, all the way up to max, all the way up to 212. This is probably one of the few things I will not be getting, because I think you get to, I don't know, maybe around here by the end of the game, and then like the last like 70 or 80 of them are all in a post-game dungeon, and by then I'm toast. I don't have any interest in farming rare enemies at that point, so I just kind of abandoned it in my test run. And for the minor reward you get for it, it's really not worth the time. But we do want to make sure that we get enough hunter's points to get up to the highest rank here. So we don't need to do some of them, and this is why I specifically focus on doing them early. There's just so many reasons to do all this extra combat early in the game. It keeps your levels in a place where you're not going to get slaughtered by the enemies. It gets you the items that you need for the flow and for the factory. It gives you the money you need to collect all the weapons so that you can get the ultimate weapons for every character. So many reasons to do it, and the further we go on into the game, the less important it's going to be. But for now, we should probably keep working on it. What else here? The crows are in the waste disposal area, like I said, and any of the non-lit areas. So like, I guess technically this is a lit area and this is a non-lit area. I don't exactly know how it's indicated. It's very hard to tell based on some of the way some of these walkthroughs are written to explain where you're supposed to find enemies. Basically, you can just run all over this area, and a lot of the time it's going to work. All right, missile squall, fall down. There's a rare myriad branch. You can still get them, they're just not particularly common anymore. The savage dog is in lit pathways of A1, A2, and A3. According to this walkthrough, A3 is your most likely to get them, so you could head back down if you wanted to. I recommend doing it in an area where you're next to a save point. Always do it next to a save point. You can level up, you can go heal, you can make sure you always have AP to waste and spend. Make sure you always hit the save points whenever possible. And what else? The Shadow Man, according to this, is very common on level 2. I didn't find that to be the case so far in this playthrough. Now we've got a requirement to do stuff with Simon alone. I wonder how long I've had that on. Let's swap to Simon. I probably didn't even need to swap to him because I'm just going to use Missile Squall anyway. But there's that. Hunter's going. And who else do we have around here? The Livid Ape. Again, this one's saying with no lights. The Petite Pooch is the kind of the one I wanted to mention, which is kind of why I brought this second walkthrough up. And because I needed to fight some guys. There's more Crow. We now have enough AP to hit the hit these guys twice with Simon before we need to move on and go and heal him up. Let's go back here and switch back over to Jaster. Go back to the save point and heal up again. The Petite Pooches are incredibly rare around here. I wouldn't even bother trying to farm them here. They're available in the next dungeon and in much higher quantities, much easier to encounter. So I would highly recommend you wait until then. Some more basic items. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to kind of go over for now. I am going to be doing some combat in between episodes. We're going to gather a little bit of money. Before I do that, let's do the combinations that I was talking about. Let's get Toady out. Going to analyze as many things as we can. And then let's do some combining here. First things first, we want a Ranger Pod 1 and a Missile Pod 1. Always making sure to save before we start doing this. Or sorry, a Missile Pod 2. And this creates a Missile Pod 4 Prime. Then we're going to go Missile Pod 1 along with Ranger Pod 1. And that's going to get us another Missile Pod 4 Prime.
That's what I call a masterpiece.
And we're going to place a Flaming Air into the giant toad with a flamethrower and create a bomb or a flaming draken.
Now that's what I call
Either way.
a masterpiece.
Flaming Air and a cold spray here. And we got a cool mist shower.
Now that's what I call a masterpiece.
We want to pair a Gaia bow and a Wanderlust bow. And this will get us an Earth and Sky Bow Prime.
Now that's what I call a masterpiece.
And the last thing that I have currently available to combine will be the Triton Hatchet and the Hunter's Hatchet. And that gets us a Hermit Hatchet Prime. And with that being said, I will show one other thing off, the Callisto Shooter and the Binding Frost there. This is actually going to be a combination at one point, but I'm just going to show you the warning that you will get here. If you combine these two, you won't have anything left to equip, meaning that the item that we get from doing so is going to be too high a level for us to equip. So anyway, that's all the combining that I'm going to do for now. I'm going to do one other thing on the flow here. Well, a couple other things. Let's get some fire resistance going here. Not absolutely necessary, but nice to have. Illusion Sword 2. More so breaking the game than we already have. There is one other use for this, and I believe it's on Steve, if I remember correctly. Yes. This is for hyperdrive here. Uses the lubricant, the single that we got, and a CPU and an item that we don't have yet. Since we don't have it yet, and since, well, Illusion Sword is the best skill in the game, we're just gonna do that instead. Hopefully you pick that up. That's a very important treasure to grab. Illusion Sword level 2 is beyond fantastic and is the highest level of the ability. So we have the best ability in the game at its highest level a few hours into the game. You could learn this if you really wanted to. Sure, why not? It's not like it's terribly useful, but it's here. Learn a few more new abilities. Stop that. Give me a couple other things that I can demonstrate when we get into some of these battles. All right, here. Do you have anything? You do not. Simon have anything else interesting? Let's do the fire resistance on you as well. It's pretty cheap to do. Here we get fire up. So this is a queen bee stinger and some wake up drops. Anytime we can increase our elemental damage, even if it only applies to other things, here's a fire defense. The difference between fire resistance and fire defense is not huge, and it's also not a giant priority for the Dragon God Skull, but it is there. Here we can open this up and we can do fire resistance again because, well, we have a decent amount of these items. So let's open up that. And that gives us the ability to get HP up. But I would hold off on the electric eels for now because we don't have very many. And I do have a more important use for them. Since this is the last thing I need the Snow Crest for at this point, I'm just going to use it, even though I'm probably not going to use this ability, just to open up some more skills, give ourselves access to things. Here's some ice up if you want that. Not at the moment. I'm not going to do that at the moment. There's another Dragon God Skull. We're up to 6 and we've already used 3 of them. So to give you an idea, I did want to leave here with like 5 of them. I've already used a few of them. I think I found 1 or 2 in chests. We're definitely going to want to find some more. One of the reasons why I will be farming the Savage Dogs, the Proto Beasts, and the rare Petite Dogs or whatever they're called. Definitely going to want to find a few before we leave this area. These things are just all over the place. All of our characters are going to need them. I'll work on Steve later. Same with Zegram and same with Kasala. They're not in my active party at the moment. So yeah, Whirlwind increases movement speed, enables direct contact attacks. Basically, it creates a little whirlwind around you. Think Diablo 3, if you've played Diablo 3, and you run around and the enemies hit you. If you've played Diablo 2, it's like Hurricane for the Druid. So there's that. Illusion Sword level 2 is just more powerful. I don't know how much more powerful. It's not in any of the notes that I was able to find, and the game obviously doesn't tell you anything. Fire resistance increases resistance to fire attacks. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing special about that. Wall of smoke, layer of smoke confusing enemies. It might do damage. I can't remember. It has so little AP requirement that I'll basically never use it, but it's there in case you're interested in that. Again, fire up, fire resistance. And yeah, that's pretty much it for there. So like I said, I'm going to be spending a whole bunch of time doing some grinding. If you're too close to doorways, it won't let you open the menu. And yeah, I'm not going to probably spend an hour, but I am going like I did on Jiraika. But instead, I'll probably spend maybe half an hour or something like that working on some battles. They will go a little bit faster now that I have the skills to one-shot all the groups of enemies. It just becomes a lot faster this way. I'm not necessarily doing this so much to clear out specific numbers of enemies, though I will be running away from anything that just has these 3 in it. It's more about trying to get a few more Dragon Skull drops and a little bit of money, because I am going to need it. And in addition to the money, I'm probably I'm definitely going to need the Dragon God Skulls. But just in general, the money, the levels, just trying to stay alive. We finally got to the point where the enemies don't just annihilate us right away, so it's nice. Don't go too crazy. You don't want to gain too many levels. I would stop before I got to, you know, like level 28 or anything like that. We don't need to go that high, but definitely try and, you know, work with what you've got going here. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this one. And next time we go through the that last save point to the star, see if we can get out of this prison at long last. But anyway, that's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.